Welcome into the Sources Say podcast, your go-to Kentucky basketball podcast on the KSR Podcast Network, presented by our great friends.
Podcast Network, sorry. I had to sneak that one in there for you.
Presented by our great friends at Club Blue. Club Blue is the official collective partner of the University of Kentucky, and I'm so thrilled to be sitting right here in Nashville.
Where are we,
Look
Jack?
at this beautiful, we're on our rooftop patio in Nashville.
I think Steven's going to do a little, maybe a pan out or...
Maybe.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. We're on a nice rooftop here at our Airbnb. We've got a nice game of Hook 21 that we're going to see who can fail the fastest at the very end of this episode.
Yeah.
But yes, we are in Nashville.
Vibes are so good. It's the most wonderful
Perfect
time
day.
of the year. They tell you, they lie. Christmas is the best. Thanksgiving is the best. Oh, Halloween, 4th of July. Oh, we love all these different things.
Even.
Super Bowl. Forget all that. No, this right now, the from starting today for the Kentucky Wildcats on hopefully for several more weeks, but we'll literally just take the rest of this weekend for now. Like, we'll just take it one day at a time.
Yeah.
But the excitement, the enthusiasm, the buzz is just, it's tangible. It's right there. You can just grasp it because it's so beautiful to be down here in Nashville, ready for the SEC tournament. Cats set to take on the Oklahoma Sooners, a rematch after almost 2 weeks to the day.
Yeah.
What happened out there in Soonerland, where Otega Oweh decided to become the father of a lot of poor Sooners.
Yeah, against this former team, that was an awesome game. I don't know if we'll see the exact kind of replicate of that today.
I hope so.
Well, just judging from Oklahoma's post-game interviews last night, that is going to be priority A, B, and C today is do not let Otega Oweh eat and get to the rim at will like he did in Norman, like you said, exactly 15 days ago now. So, yes, the vibes are really high. A lot of, the crowds yesterday were all great. We're expecting an amazing crowd today for Kentucky, even with the late game, and we're about to head over there after this wraps up. We're going to go watch Arkansas play. You know, our favorite head coach over there. Who do they play again? I already kind of forget.
We can just run through the schedule.
Yeah,
so it will be
the
the Arkansas Razorbacks taking on the Ole Miss Rebels in the 8-9 matchup starting at noon Central Time. Then we have Texas A&M versus at 3:30 Eastern Time. I don't know why I'm going Central Time to Eastern. You know, it just is
Switch
what
it up. Keep it on your toes.
Yeah, I'm going to go back and forth between them. And then at 6 Central Time, we have a 7-seed Missouri taking on 10-seed Mississippi State, and then our matchup to wrap up the day at Central Time last time. So it's going to be 9:30 Eastern Time for number 6 Kentucky taking on number 14 seed Oklahoma.
Yeah, so it's going to be a jam-packed day. All of those games are good except for that third game, which, if I'm being honest, has kind of very little appeal to me in the Mississippi State-Missouri matchup.
Other than, hey, this might be our matchup on Saturday.
Yeah, I guess.
That's
that one does.
Yeah.
Yeah. In that event, yes, it could end up being one of those two teams that Kentucky faces. But yeah, great slate of games today. So capping it off with the best one, Oklahoma, as I'm sure most of everyone knows by now, Georgia really fumbled that game last night, if we want to be nice about it. Oklahoma
Football reference for football school.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, Oklahoma's student section would tell you that they still think it's football season because there was no one there yesterday. But
hope that remains.
A 14-0 run from Oklahoma in the middle of that second half is really what allowed them to pull past Georgia last night. And the last 2 minutes of that game, it was like watching a really low-level high school game. I mean, it was just not fun basketball. Yeah, so Kentucky gets Oklahoma. Is that the team you wanted to play, or was Georgia kind of the one you were maybe hoping for a little bit more?
Going in, when you get the first draw and you see your potential path, first thing I saw was, oh, hell yeah, rematch against Georgia. I hated what happened down in Athens. You got to get a rematch. You got to get that, get that bad taste out of your mouth from there. But then when you're sitting and watching, I watched Georgia throughout the year. They were fine, probably the best Georgia team. And we did the math yesterday. It's the best Georgia team in a decade.
Yes. Even better than the Anthony Edwards team, which I kind of forgot how bad they were.
Yeah, not a lot of good basketball down there in Athens. So you're watching it and you're going, Georgia's not good, but they play like a football team. They want to. It's like Texas A&M. They want to muck things up. They want to beat the hell out of you. They want to injure you. They want to take hard screens and put you into situations where you're flopping on the ground and potentially injuring yourself. And all I kept seeing in my head is Lamont Butler going down with re-aggravating his shoulder, Andrew Carr re-aggravating his back. I kept having these visions of Georgia's not very good, but they would to do whatever it takes to advance, would try to just play bully ball and, beat the hell out of Kentucky and hope that is the path to a win. And like the more and more I was watching, I was like, I really don't want to risk that. I'm going to take the horse race between Jeremiah Fears and Jalen Moore taking on the Kentucky backcourt. Lamont Butler was not a part of that first matchup. So you get kind of that head-to-head battle there, and I just like Kentucky's dudes over Oklahoma's dudes. So like, I wanted Georgia initially, but I was happy with the way things unfolded watching the two go head-to-head. Even though Jeremiah Fears is a tremendous talent, Jalen Moore is a tremendous talent, I just like Kentucky's talent a little bit more.
So I need to correct something because I mentioned this last night. Lamont Butler did play in that first game.
Oh, did he?
But he fouled out.
I was thinking Alabama in my head.
Yes, because it was his first game back. I think that's good. And I think the confusion was that was the game where Jackson got hurt.
That's right.
And he missed. I think he didn't even play
Facts
the second
are optional.
half. Right?
What did who cares?
Or Jackson went down. He didn't play the second half, I don't think, at all. Like, maybe he came in.
He did not play a second.
Only 12 minutes from what I'm looking at here. So, but you do have Lamont back, and yes, he had 5 fouls. He only played 20 minutes in that game, and that was kind of the issue there. First game back, so still really kind of
and not
getting
the
back
factor,
into
not the like the Lamont Butler game. Like, he was fine, didn't play poorly, but it was he wasn't.
Not
Louisville Lamont Butler.
Yeah, and Amari Williams also had bad foul trouble in that game, which kind of allowed Brandon Garrison to have his breakout moment. So, but in terms of which team I was wanting to see, I'm gonna go a little bit opposite of you, just so we aren't like all over each other agreeing the entire podcast, because that would be boring. But some might disagree, but I think Oklahoma is just kind of a more purely talented team than Georgia, and Oklahoma has the clear, much better, best player in Jeremiah Fears. And my kind of sort of thinking is, yes, I understand the injury risks and all that stuff, but in a setting like this, I would rather not play a future lottery pick just because of how a guy can just go off like that. And we saw Jeremiah Fears just light up Georgia last night. I do not think that will be the case today because, like we said, ideally you've got a healthier Lamont Butler, and hopefully he plays more minutes than he did in that first game. No Jackson makes it a little bit different because he was kind of a guy that they expected to play big defensive minutes in that game. So now he's out, and that kind of can help you a little bit in the sense that going into this game, who's going to defend, some of their secondary guys a little bit more, because Pope really just kind of had to make things up on the fly in the middle of that game. So I'm sure we'll see a lot of Colin Chandler tonight as well, doing what he does, just chasing around guys all night long on defense. So
is it weird that that's the kind of difference to me? Like
Colin Chandler?
Jeremiah Fears does not instill fear in me because of Colin Chandler.
Nice.
Is that weird?
Yes, it is weird because Colin Chandler's really only been good playing this well for 5-6 games now, but it's the point now where we're like, man, we keep talking about it. He's Kentucky's sixth man right now.
He was so good at Mizzou.
He really was.
It got past the point where you grade these kids on a curve whenever they're freshmen, and like when Travis Perry makes a shot, it's like, yeah, bud, rah, good job.
You had to make that.
Trent Noah, same thing. You're like, we're so proud of you, kid. Not like, that you're expecting. When Jackson Robinson makes a three, we don't just cry tears of joy. We're like, let's do that expectation. You're supposed to.
Yeah.
With Colin, it got to the point where it was like he was graduating past like pity points, like pity freshman points, to like, hey, we expect that from you. Like, we expect you to go out and make an impact defensively. And I expect him today to go out, maybe not like put Jeremiah Fears on the gulag. Like that, it's not going to be.
It's going to be tough.
But
he's just
I think it's a solid matchup that I think that Colin can kind of, throw some stuff at. And Lamont Butler,
Ortega.
We got dudes too.
Yeah.
Jeremiah is the dude, but we got some dudes too.
I guess my overall fear is man, we're really playing into the punch with this kid.
Never fails.
The issue is just does he go off for 29 points again? Because I think in that situation, that's giving Oklahoma just kind of a massive edge in that one category there. If you can hold him to the 18, he went 7 of 18 last game in the first matchup. I think if you hold him to 7 of 18 tonight, Kentucky wins this game.
I agree.
Oklahoma's not going to have kind of that road game atmosphere as well to back them up a little bit. Kind of what we were talking about, the injuries. Like, there's going to be a much clearer messaging game plan from Pope going into this one than there was at Oklahoma, where, Lamont was just now coming back. Andrew Carr still wasn't kind of what he only played 19 minutes in that game. Jackson ends up going out at halftime. So a lot of that was just on the fly coaching, I'm sure. And you, like we talked about last night, Kentucky had a bunch of guys there scouting that game last night. They had 5 coaches, 3 of the major assistants.
2 GAs. Did you think that was interesting? That
Ridgeway and other Pope. Austin
Pope and Leander Ridgeway. Like I thought that was kind of cool that they're leading the scout.
There's probably a reason for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's probably not like a, hey, go out and join the other coaches tonight. That I'm sure they have a pretty heavy role in the scout.
But it's like, not Mark Fox and Mikhail McLean, and we just heard Mark Fox get the brownie points. Pope went out of his way at the post-game press conference from Mizzou, said, hey, this was Mark Fox's scout, and it was an unbelievable scout. I just thought it was cool that we got to see some of the GA love that, they're trying to work their way up to get to the, where Cody Feger and Alvin Brooks III and those guys are. So I thought it was cool.
Well, I did think it was interesting. I don't know if it was Pope's press conference yesterday where he was talking, I think it was yesterday, he was talking about the scouts, and he said that they have 3 scout teams. They have an Oklahoma, a Georgia, and an Alabama scout team. So they actually...
Alabama and beyond. He was like,
Alabama.
He said, I don't even say... tell them what to do or who to scout. They just kind of do their own thing. You're in charge of the future.
Yeah. So I do like that they're already kind of planning ahead. And I mean, you just kind of have to. It's not like we're not taking Oklahoma seriously. You have to scout ahead because if Kentucky ends up winning this game tonight, you've got less than 24-hour turnaround for the next game. So that was just a cool little note that, I don't remember seeing Chin Coleman lining up the sidelines. And I'm sure he was. Maybe he was, but it's easier to make a joke about it, It's funnier too.
It never fails. I truly do really enjoy that. I also really enjoy our very new friends at SeatGeek. SeatGeek. Shout out to SeatGeek for what they've been able to pull together at the perfect time. I mean, when we're talking about Nashville and coming down and an all-time SEC tournament crowd, potentially an all-time Kentucky SEC tournament crowd. Yes. You want to be with our friends at SeatGeek. I'm so excited to see the Kentucky Wildcats down here in Nashville. It's time. When we say that the whole season and understanding the assignment and pushing for banners, this is kind of you go through the regular season to get to this point, and you can go through our friends at SeatGeek to help with that. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. There are more than 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, including concerts, sports, festivals, and more. But there is none more important than the SEC tournament right now. Make sure that you download that app and go buy tickets with our friends at SeatGeek for that. What do you think the crowd is going to be today here with our friends at SeatGeek?
I mean, it's going to be at least 85% Kentucky fans, you'd think. Well, if you're just doing Kentucky versus Oklahoma, not counting all the other fan bases that just kind of want to stick around and watch games, this is going to be a heavy Kentucky crowd. We kind of saw with the pregame show or the radio show this morning with Matt Jones and the rest of the crew. That place was packed. People were at 4 a.m. People were lining up outside of Tin Roof just to get in and watch them talk about Kentucky basketball for a couple hours. So the vibes are very, very high. You've also, I mean, like we've talked about earlier, we're sitting outside right now, like it's 72 degrees in Nashville. So it's a perfect atmosphere to hang around all day, and they're selling beer now at these events. So you don't even have to stop once you get done at Tootsie's. You can pop on over into Bridgestone Arena and get you a $17 6-ounce Coors Light. So what could be better than that?
Hey, look folks, I'm not gonna lie. I'm scrolling through the SeatGeek app right now, looking at the prices. You can get in all sessions for you can be here for the whole weekend. $629 a pop. Like, if you're gonna make this all-time trip, like, go all in and do it with our but I think that's very fair given the excitement of the game. Second round, the session 3, what's going on right now, $11 to see John Calipari in attendance. Like, I'll take that. $69 for the evening session, so you can still get down here in time this evening and catch the Cats for $69 here in Nashville. Like, that's awesome. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't want to be a part of that. So make sure you go on, download that app. It's easy to use, seamless. It's awesome. I came through for you guys. You can use code KSR10 for 10% off your next seat. So do the math on that. 10% off that. On top of that, set your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with promo code KSR10. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thank you, SeatGeek.
Shout out to SeatGeek.
Shout out to SeatGeek. Any other interesting takeaways, things that you're kind of have your eye on? It felt dumb talking to the Oklahoma players last night, going like, hey, Otega-Oweh had an all-time game, career high 28 points, scored the last 18. How do you not let that happen? You know, it's like
it's like, buddy, if we knew, we would have tried harder.
But like, yeah, you know, that is the number one talking point. But what would you say kind of talking points 2, 3, and 4 would be? I mean, you don't have to list all 3 of them, but you know, just the other things that are kind of flying under the radar.
Just like from Kentucky's perspective, or just game perspective? Okay. I think 3-point shooting is going to be a big thing in this game for Oklahoma. They were 12 of 25 last night against Georgia. Jeremiah Fears was a big part of that, hitting some tough shots. They were 10 of 25 against Kentucky in that first matchup as well. Kentucky's done a lot better job over the last 9 games of just not allowing nearly as many threes. You know, for the first 9 SEC games, we talked about this in Zoom action. Shameless plug.
Hey, use a platform,
the first 9 SEC games of the season, Kentucky was letting opponents shoot more than half their shots from 3. It was 51.4%, I think. That's per our friend Brandon Ramsey. And then over the last 9 games, that SEC games, that got trimmed down to 41 or 40, something like that.
Wow.
So that's an extra 10%. So you just think that's an extra what? 3 or 5 threes a game if you're a team that shoots 25 to 30 a game. You make 2 of those. That's 6 points right there that Kentucky's just kind of shaving off their point total every night now as of late. So I think that's going to be big. You really got to defend the 3. Goodine is a really good shooter. Jalen Moore's a good shooter. They've got Forsyth, I believe, is a good shooter as well. So they've got kids out there that can go out and really shoot the ball. That's going to be a big thing for Kentucky is making sure that they can do a good job of tampering that down. Size is going to be a big thing for Kentucky. They definitely have the size advantage. Muhammad, I don't want to mispronounce. Wagyu. Is that really? Is it really Wagyu? That's how it's spelled.
He's pretty beefy.
On the pun train today. We're firing off the pun gun right now. Size is going to be on Kentucky's side tonight. I really think Andrew Carr is this could be another nice Andrew Carr game. You have to hope that, did the injury report come out?
This was last night, and Sam Godwin, who was out yesterday for the Sooners, is not on the injury report for the Sooners, so that is something to keep an eye on.
Jackson Robinson's former high school teammate as well. He's kind of a bigger guy on down low for them, so that'll be semi-significant for Oklahoma.
Beefy there with Wagyu.
Yeah, more beef jokes. We're really going all in on the puns today. I like it. Good. That's a good. Our minds are fresh.
Yeah.
That's what it's telling me is Jack's 4 hours of sleep that he got. He's still firing on all cylinders. Probably from that third all black coffee he had earlier today. On his first Alani though, I'm proud of him. He's usually on like a 6.
I'm cutting back.
Yeah, he's cutting back on his caffeine intake, his addiction. So size will be a big thing today. Hopefully Amari Williams doesn't get in early foul trouble, and you don't have to have Brandon Garrison come in and kind of be that guy, because you have to think that Oklahoma is going to kind of make it a point maybe whenever Brandon's in to maybe try and get under his skin and just make it so to where Steven's being funny, just kind of trying to sneak around.
I love how he's just like
there
a cat,
goes.
You know?
You could probably see him the whole time too.
He's going to be
walking right by. So you don't want to have to rely on Brandon Garrison to come in and do what he did again. Not that he can't, but he's just what's going on right now? Not to say that he can't, but yes, you would rather have Amari Williams just kind of be that guy from start to finish. Pope's really been leaning heavy on his starting 5 over the last 3 games, so I expect us to see similar stuff again tonight. Maybe a 6-7 man rotation. We'll see if Ainsley Almanor actually gets some minutes in this one. Let me just look real quick. In the last game against Oklahoma, 4 minutes. Did not play. So there's an odd trend. It feels like when
Did he have any stats?
He did. He had a 0 for 1 from 3, and he had a rebound and a foul, or an assist and a foul. So
that's my guy.
No club trillion for this one. So I don't know what Pope's plan will be for him. Maybe it's just a matchup thing where he doesn't really like what he sees. But those are a couple things. Size and 3-point defense are some big keys that I'll be looking for. Because
this is a talking point that I'll never be able to have again, so might as well just throw this out into the ether for now. I do think the dynamic of Jeremiah Fears, how close he was to being a Kentucky Wildcat, is kind of a cool storyline that's kind of flown under the radar today. He reclassifies. I remember talking to him at Peach Jam. He reclassifies up to this past class, and Kentucky was among the first, one of the main 3 or 4 schools to reach out initially. I talked to Kentucky, and they're like, yeah, we like him. We're having
He's pretty good.
We're having
lottery pick.
We're having some. But the thing is, he was like a top 40, top 50 kid at the time, so he wasn't seen as a potential lottery pick. But Kentucky. Yeah. This was after Peach Jam, so this is late July going into August. They had already had all their summer workouts and knew what they had in the group that they had at the time. Obviously, didn't know in advance that you'd be missing the end of the season. No Kirk Risa, no Jackson Robinson. So maybe hindsight, you would have potentially taken him. But there was a time that Kentucky got a hey, would you like Jeremiah Fears to be on this roster? And Kentucky was like, I just don't think it's the right fit because, to Kentucky's credit, I think they did nail their assessment on this. And, to Oklahoma.
Lamont Butler's a good.
And to Jeremiah Fears' credit, it was very clear from the Fears side, we're coming in expecting shots. We're coming in expecting minutes. We want, an expanded role starting. And Kentucky was just like, yeah. That's not something we're able to offer. We like you, but we need, if we're going to add a 13th scholarship piece, we're not looking to add the star freshman that's going to, after going through 2 months.
Not yet.
2 months
not
of
this year.
2 months of summer workouts at this point. We're not looking to add that new variable at this stage. It's like that meme, the video of the chef that's he's cooking at the stove and throws that one ingredient in and just the whole thing lights on fire. That was the Jeremiah Fears impact with Kentucky. So they had conversations. I asked him about it last night. Didn't seem very talkative about it. Didn't necessarily want it. He said, yeah, conversations were great, but I found the right fit with I'm where I need to be, and I don't disagree with him. So I think that dynamic is pretty interesting, that once upon a time there was a path for the lottery pick that we're seeing today, the guy that could beat Kentucky tonight. I hope not. I pray not. I don't think it will happen, but there is a scenario where the guy that beats Kentucky tonight could have been on this Kentucky roster.
Yeah, it definitely would have been interesting to see how that would have worked out if they ended up snagging him. But I'm sure with Pope in his first year, you're at that point in the season where you're like, hey, let's maybe year 2, year 3, that's maybe a bigger conversation that maybe you try and push all your chips in for that a little bit more. But yeah, with year 1 and really obviously leaning heavy on the veterans, I think ended up making the right call. And even if you kind of lose out on a guy like Jeremiah Fears, but like we said, I think having Lamont Butler is just as fine. They're both going to be one and dones if they came to Kentucky regardless. So give me the guy that's been to a national championship.
Well, we're going to start wrapping this thing up because we want we're going to do one every single day, probably from right here, where we're set up. We might be doing this every single day. Let's run through some of the other day. By the time you watch this, we'll know who won in the first matchup, Arkansas, Ole Miss. I think Arkansas is going to get them.
They probably will.
I just got that feel. But for the other games, let's go ahead and make our Monticello Bank picks.
Oh, nice. Okay. Are we going in order?
Sure. Yeah. Let's go down the list.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take Arkansas. I am.
Why?
I don't know, because they had that 20-point lead yesterday, and it was like, okay, so you can kind of see them cooking. They obviously almost nearly blew the whole thing, and I still don't understand the logic behind John L. Davis in that free throw at the very end there. So
Steven is very loudly clipping his fingernails behind the camera, in case you're curious.
Yeah.
Just like day in life of Steven.
I don't know. It just feels like a Calipari thing that this would be a game that he would just kind of pull a rabbit out of his hat and win. So,
but he does not care about this event. Yeah, he doesn't care. But,
we'll see.
Buddy, when you ask him about if he cares or not, he's going to let you hear about it.
Yeah. And Ole Miss is a very good and talented team. I just think Calipari's kind of found a groove here with his roster that he's got right now, and even knowing kind of the near collapse that happened last night, it was an almost situation. It's, we're not horseshoes and hand grenades, they still won the game. So
or hook 21.
And man, we are, it's not even almost with that. It's no, you're not making it because we're pretty bad at it. So next, or where are you going?
I'm going Arkansas as well. We got Texas A&M, number 5 seed Texas A&M taking on 13 seed Texas.
That's gonna be a fun one. I really like
Lone Star
battle. Watching Trey Johnson is just a lot of fun. He's gonna be a top.
He was good
10,
yesterday.
6,
he was
7,
very
8
good
pick.
yesterday.
Yeah, he's just so much fun. They kind of smacked Vanderbilt. Honestly, I think the score was a little bit closer than maybe the actual game would indicate.
The feel of the game.
Yeah, but Texas kind of controlled that one. They looked really good in that. I'll take Texas A&M though, just because I think that. They're just a better team, simply. I think that's really just what it's going to come down to. They don't have the overall talent level that I'm trying to see what Steven's doing here as well. No, I didn't know if he was pointing at me or not. So yeah, I'll go Texas A&M on that one. That'll be a fun game though.
Give me the Longhorns.
Go for it.
They were really good yesterday. They're kind of fighting for their NCAA tournament lives, and I want 14 SEC teams to make the field. So I'm going to go for the upset. We know Texas A&M's in. How about Texas pulling off the upset and, making Selection Sunday very, very difficult for the selection committee?
I think Texas and Oklahoma are probably. I think they're both currently on the right side of the bubble.
I think Oklahoma
got there last night.
Texas is still very, very 50-50. They need this one. So I think that'd be awesome. I think it'd be really cool.
That'll be a fun one.
I think that would probably solidify 14 teams.
Yeah,
I think that would definitely do it. So yeah, I'm going with the Longhorns, and then right before the Wildcats take the floor, we will have number 7 Missouri and the Fighting Dennis Gates taking on Mississippi State, 10-seed Mississippi State. Who you got?
Missouri. I think Missouri's they did not close the regular season well. I think Dennis Gates is a really good coach, so I believe he'll have them switched around to play really well in this game. I don't think Mississippi State's all that great, if I'm being honest, either. They did kind of beat the hell out of poor LSU last night. It was like
LSU looked like they didn't. They were like, bro, our year's over.
Yeah, their season was over a long time ago, so I get it. I don't think Mississippi State is that much better.
It's Josh Hubbard and some dudes.
Yeah, so I'll give. I think Missouri will get a nice bounce back win with that one.
Yeah, and Dennis Gates kind of talked after the finale in Como, was just like, we know that the year did not end the way we wanted, but we now have a chance to just kind of push all that in the back burner and just say, yeah, that sucked. Let's move, rearview mirror. Let's move past. Now it's time to, our postseason. We can control our destiny now in the postseason. I think they're going to have that approach, and they're going to cruise to a solid win over Mississippi State. And then Monticello Bank,
big one,
pick of the day. Cats or?
I'm going Kentucky, 81-71, for kind of all the reasons that we outlined earlier.
Oh, you double-digit win.
Yes, yeah. So I think that Kentucky is. I really think that what would make Kentucky struggle was just the unknown that kind of going into that game with a first little Lamont Butler situation and losing Jackson in that game. You've got a better Colin Chandler. I do just think the circumstances are a little bit different for Kentucky. I think the having the home crowd essentially is going to be a very Stephen would tell you that's an extra 6 points or something like that if you're a home crowd, something like that. So if you want
the math is math.
If I want to bake that into my narrative, I will. And I think that just given all those factors, I think Kentucky will do a good job of not allowing Jeremiah Fears to go for 29. If he gets 29 but it's on 25 shots, I think Kentucky wins. If he gets 29 points on 18 shots, it might be a little bit closer. But I do think Kentucky just overall has the better team, better talent, better coach, better all that stuff. So I do foresee a double-digit win, and we're going to have some fun on Friday.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I really do think that we haven't seen this Kentucky team truly catch fire at the quantity that we've been wanting. It's been a minute since we've seen kind of just that well-oiled machine come together where you're like, oh, so this is Kentucky at its best. Mm-hmm. I think we're going to see that. I think that Kentucky is kind of the team of destiny down here in Nashville. I've said that. I've kind of taken some lumps for having that opinion. I do. I really do think
someone's got to.
I really do think that the Cats are going to have a really successful weekend down here in Nashville, and I think it's going to start with a statement victory over the Oklahoma Sooners. I agree. Same take I had about Jeremiah Fears. As I was watching the first matchup, I said, I'm glad he's kind of getting his March Madness magic out of the way in game one, hoping that he kind of has that same confidence in game two to be like, oh, well, this, dropping 30 points is easy. I'm going to go do the same thing.
It's easy on Blue Cane.
Right. I'm hoping that he comes in with the same mindset and has that, Lamont Butler is a little bit different than Blue Cane, and I think he's going to struggle a little bit, and I think it's going to lead to some chaos, elsewhere with Oklahoma. So I'm going with a Kentucky win. I'm going 94.
Jeez, Louise.
94 to 80.
94 to 80. So
94 to 80.
Okay.
Cats win, Cats cover, Cats advance. It's going to be a great time. And you know what else is a great time? Wearing this rowback. Are you kidding me? This is.
Oh, I didn't realize that was the rowback one.
Can look closely. Can you tell me what the?
That looks like a UK logo splotched all around the.
But where is it? What's the location?
Is it a Rupp?
You bet your sweet butt it is at Rupp
I didn't
Arena.
even look at the fine details.
It's so comfortable. The pants are so comfortable. I've been like waiting all week to like just put this outfit on, feel good, go down to Nashville. I'm gonna have it on all day. If you see me out at the bars tonight, I promise you I'll be wearing this because I love it. It's comfy, it's slick, it's sleek, it's just the absolute best. There's only one way to describe Roback: best fit, best feel. For those who are not familiar with Roback, you need to be. They're completely changing the game with their incredibly comfortable activewear. Roback has released so many items within their new licensed game day collection, and it is our favorite. Did you hear? You see, not necessarily hear, you can see. Their Kentucky line just launched with novel polo designs and clean hoodie and cute zip designs. It's definitely worth checking out. Nobody else on the market is pairing these level of custom designs with this quality of activewear. Right now, you can head to roback.com and use code KSR for 20% off for new customers. Zach, this was a lot of fun. We're going to wrap this thing up. We're going to head over to the arena. Yeah. We're going to see what happens with John Calipari and the Razorbacks, see if they can keep this momentum rolling.
There's going to be drama in that game. I don't know what it is, but there's going to be some late game drama in that one. And I'm hoping for it. I don't care how it goes or it ends. I just want to see something fun.
All the games are going to be awesome. I can't wait. It's going to be an absolute blast. And we'll see you over there. It's going to make sure you buy tickets with SeatGeek. We love SeatGeek. We love all of our presenting sponsors, Club Blue, Roback, Monticello Bank. We love each and every one of you, and we will love the way the Cats play tonight as we celebrate another win. Going into Friday, we'll see you on the other side. Go Cats.